complainant, and on the basis of that complaint, the Supreme Judicial Council decided to proceed in the matter. So what they needed to do is inquire into the matter.
How should they inquire into the matter?
By holding a factual inquiry on the allegations that were there.
Was any factual inquiry held?
Never.
Yeah,
That's my private.
This is admitted fact. Is admitted inquiry.
ऑलरेडी ये जो है फैक्ट और नॉट कर लिया था जिसकी वजह से जो है
देखिए there are two aspects to it. One is the speech. The other is the content of the speech. So as far as the speech is concerned, he's not denying speech. To me, so I went up whether this in itself constitutes misconduct or not. That's one. Leave that aside for the time being. We're simply asking you that the allegations that were leveled, the petitioner, they inquired into by the Supreme Judicial Council or not? Is this true or false?
Oh my lord, उनकी allegation की नहीं की गई जो कि
नहीं बस ठीक बस ये पूछ रहे हैं. अच्छा, and now please go to what you said 2096.
The others clause 6. If after inquiring into the matter, so this is very important, if, after inquiring into the matter, the council reports to the president that it is of the opinion that the judge is incapable of performing the duties of his office or has been guilty of misconduct, and that he should be removed from office, the president may remove the judge from office. So, sir, the council can only report if
can you
it has held inquiry into the matter.
Can you read 7 also?
7. A judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court shall not be removed from office except as provided by this article. Meaning thereby, on the basis of a report which has been made after due inquiring into the matter, that only in that case, if there is a report in which he has been found guilty of misconduct after full factual inquiry, only on that basis he can be removed, cannot be removed for any other way. Otherwise,
going along with you, I just want to understand one thing. It's being conceded by the Attorney General that there was no factual inquiry.
Okay.
Now, moving ahead, what can we do? What can this court do?
That means that inquiry is that report by the Supreme Judicial Council on the basis of which he has been removed is unconstitutional, because Constitution requires.
I'm not asking for an argument. I'm saying what can this court do? What if I was to ask you, okay, what sort of order can this court pass? What would you suggest?
Declaring the inquiry, the report of the Supreme Judicial Council as unconstitutional, void, and nullity.
But suppose the allegations that you level were not true, then
what was it?
Suppose that the allegations that you leveled, one person is saying no, one person is saying yes. Now we must have a mechanism to ascertain who is telling the truth. I mean, so there are two possibilities. I mean, you don't mind my saying so. Either the petitioner is telling the truth or is not telling the truth. There are only two possibilities. If don't he makes this allegation, and on that, and nobody ascertains, like you have alleged, that nobody ascertained, and nobody ascertains whether his allegation is true or false, and is or whatever the order is set aside, surely this will not be proper. That's why I'm saying, how do we go forward now?
That is exactly the case. If your lordship may kindly see that I informed the Chief Justice of
No, we understand that. They concede no inquiry was held. I'm saying, where do we go from here?
So therefore, the entire proceedings against me.
वो भी हो गई. Suppose, just for the sake of argument, we say, let's not do its job and do the matter. Then remove me, because this is false allegation you've leveled. You don't fit to be a judge, and not only you made a false allegation, you went and made it publicly. You would imagine, should be removed. No, if the allegation that you make now,
yes,
is established to be false after the inquiry,
yes,
should you have been removed?
Then can be yes.
Okay.
Then that
No. Now I reverse it.
Yeah.
If after inquiry it transpires that the allegation that you leveled was true,
Yes.
they may say you still should be removed because you went public. Or, no, you should not be. But your emphasis is on the fact that one way or the other, inquire into the matter. Am I correct in understanding that? Now because you had leveled initially allegations without making anyone a party. So we wanted to hear what the persons against whom the allegations had been made, what would they say? They may come and say, yes, I did so, but there was nothing wrong in it, or simply say, yes, I did it. But the matter can't end now because they're saying, no, this is all false. So who will ascertain the truth of the matter?
The Supreme Judicial Council ought to have done that. My position is. Now your lordship is.
जरा हमें solution भी बता देना साथ. We're looking for how to solve this riddle.
इसका simple जवाब है सर. जैसे पहले, in some cases it has happened. एक तो ये है जो हमने begin with
कहा हमें solution, हम आपका point of view समझ गए, हम आपका case समझ गए. अब हम करें क्या ये बताइए. What sort of order which should not, either then it will amount to the same allegation that you leveled on the other side. The other side will tomorrow complain and say, you never ascertained this fact, and you held that we've done this thing. So, we come up with a solution now.
Sir, my solution is
Yes.
Okay, let this order of the president and the report may kindly be quashed, and a commission may be appointed to ascertain the truth, so that we can cross-examine them, they can cross-examine us.
Commission, under what law will we do that?
This honorable court can always do so.
No, they can't.
To ascertain the truth about the matter.
No, it can't be remanded to the Supreme Judicial Council.
Sir,
is that a possibility or it's not?
It can be, yes. It can be, yes. It can.
No, I want your clear thinking on this.
After questioning the order of
Sub-Article 7, Sub-Article 7.
There is one problem which I see.
एक Sub-Article 7 भी पढ़ लें. 209 Sub-Article 7. 209 Sub-Article 7 पढ़ लें.
जी 7 सर वो 7 की बात हो रही है ना, तो उसमें है a judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court shall not be removed from office except as provided by this article. Article क्या provide करता है? President can remove on the basis of a report. The report has to be based on inquiry. So therefore, under clause 7,
नहीं देखिए,
He could not be removed.
ये तो admitted fact हो गया that no one ascertained whether the allegation was factually correct or not. That much is established from what I've been able to understand. Unless somebody says, no, it's not been established. I don't think even Khwaja Sahab पूछते थे Khwaja Sahab कहाँ गए? Was the one way or the other whether the allegation was true or not? Was it been ascertained or not?
It was never inquired into, it was never ascertained. And if that part of the order would
How do we go forward then on this?
may I very respectfully submit.
Because, you know, both can't be telling the truth.
No, quite right. May
Yes.
I very humbly submit, my lord. The order itself may have two components, although they are mixed up. As far as I'm concerned, they are mixed up in the sense, one is with respect to the public speech that was made. Whether the public speech that was,
That's a separate aspect.
this is what I'm saying.
That may in itself be such a grave crime that you remove him.
No, I'm making a
Or nothing implied in the order is the fact that you've leveled such serious allegations against some people.
cannot be sustained because no inquiry was held. That portion.
What is the solution here?
May I very respect, this is what I was saying, madam. May I very respectfully submit the order itself is composed of these two components, allegation made or there were some assertions made which were not inquired into, and that's the petitioner. Now that portion cannot be held against the petitioner so far as the STC order is concerned because that was never inquired into. We are only then left as far as this list is concerned. Only left with the question whether the public speech that was made was.
I think let's live in the real world. The entire eyes of the nation are before us. There are 2-3 constitutional offices involved. Is the independence of the judiciary. If I'm sure you will also agree that no judge should be removed without cause. I'm sure you will say that.
Yes, right. That's true.
That's one aspect. The other aspect is there's another constitutional body involved called the Supreme Judicial Council. Now, we ordinarily, the Supreme Court should not interfere in the work of another constitutional body unless there is something so manifestly unconstitutional or unjust. What Mr. Hamid Khan Saab is saying is there was no inquiry held, and you are conceding it, and that the Attorney General is also conceding it. Needless to say, if the statement made was false, he also conceded. The third issue is the Supreme Court itself. We are hearing this case. Now the question arises, what sort of order we can pass in such circumstances? And I think there's an interconnected, where is the Attorney General? Attorney General, where is he?
पहले मैं ऑफिस से चेक करवा लेता हूँ ऑफिस में.
So opinion of the Supreme Judicial Council.
yes,
Page 70 पे है.
70. Yes. Conclusion, sir. This council is unanimously of the opinion, kindly see here, that in the matter of making his speech before the District Bar Association Rawalpindi on 21/7/2018, Mr. Justice Showkat Siddiqui, Judge Islamabad High Court, Islamabad, of a High Court, and was thus guilty of misconduct, and he is therefore liable to be removed from the office under Article 2096 of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. 2096, which says you inquire into the matter, which was never done. The other portion of this, your Lordship may find very relevant, is on page 49-50, where they decided to dispense with the inquiry.
इसमें सवाल इसमें ये पैदा होता है, ये सवाल है कि suppose allegation दुरुस्त है, suppose क्या ये जिस तरीके से एलिगेशन बयान की गई हैं, जिस तरीके से तकरीर, क्या ये एक जज के लिए मुनासिब था? ये तो ओपिनियन उनकी ये थी कि चूंकि ये कर नहीं सकते थे।
सर इसमें हुआ ये, there was only one hearing in camera done, nothing else was
ये
ever.
तो डिनाइल नहीं आपकी तरफ से कि तकरीर हुई थी,
जी
तकरीर हुई थी, ये डिनाइल तो नहीं है।
नहीं
वो ये
तकरीर का denial नहीं.
नहीं सर, तकरीर का denial नहीं है।
But देखिए, there are two kinds of speeches, ना? I mean, is a judge not allowed to make a speech?
Yes.
देखिए, I think we should not forget the facts. The fact is not making of the speech. If it's making of the speech, then probably half the superior judiciary will have to go home, because how many judges have made to the bar council's speeches? I mean, these are not too. So
That speech was made before a bar is
no.
received.
So it's not a question of mere making of a speech. It's the content of the speech. I think both go together. Now it depends what I say. If I say there should be, I go and tomorrow I make speeches, independence of the judiciary, this, that, the other, fine. I may even canvass a view which is different. But if I make allegation against someone, so I think you can't disconnect the two things. It's the nature of the allegation. Because I would say if otherwise, then we will have to read that Article 19 is not available to judges.
Yeah, that's what
I mean, okay, you may not agree with the judge's point of view, fine. I mean, but you remove him on that ground. The code of conduct doesn't say you can't make a speech. So on it, I don't think there's anything wrong per se in making a speech. Now, if you make some speech and you attack, launch a vicious attack or loaded attack or whatever you want to call it, that we cannot disconnect with it. We have to read it, see it together. I mean, I can't just say, oh, making of a speech. I mean, making of a speech is your right. Anybody's right.
And addressing
I mean, it's not exactly.
District Bar Association.
By the way, you may be interested to know the United Kingdom, which is so conservative, judges give interviews. I mean, so House of Lords. I mean, those restraints have far gone, and judges of the American Supreme Court, as judges of the Supreme Court, Justice Stephen براہ and Justice Scalia's debates,
all make public.
Debates were pretty vicious on various law schools they were given. So let's connect it with the speech. Now, nobody's taking us to the next level. What do we do?
Yes, sir.
Can we personally ourselves inquire into the matter?
Sir, one thing which I just want to point out, there were a number of speeches made by Justice Kiani which was published.
I agree with you on that.
Very clearly.
No, I agree with you. It will be, I think it is connected with the content.
Okay, sir.
भाई अगर आपने बिला वजह ऐसे इल्जाम लगा दिए to another I don't want to use the word institution, but it's important.
Yes.
Whatever department of the government आप कह लें, जो भी आप कहना चाहें. So naturally, it is not a nice matter. But if they are true, it changes, I think, the complexion of the matter.
Sir, page 70 अगर देख लीजिएगा, this is
solution मैं आपको ही नहीं बता रहा.
नहीं sir, solution तो ये है कि इस वक्त ये जो order है president का based upon the report of the Supreme Judicial Council need to be quashed.
Then we'll be faced with an allegation that the Supreme Court, threw Khwaja Saab's clients under the bus and saved one of their own. Again, we have to be very fair to both sides because you made allegation targeting specific persons. So if we quash it, that effectively means that all that you said was true without an inquiry, one way or the other. Now, how can we, I mean, what do we do then?
So then the answer can be, I'm just making a humble submission, that let this order of the president be quashed, let the report be also quashed, and let the matter be remanded back to the Supreme Judicial Council to hold an inquiry.
Can this order be passed?
I believe so.
नहीं हमें असिस्ट करें इस
लेकिन
बात पे।
अगर सुप्रीम जुडिशियल काउंसिल बगैर इंक्वायरी के रिकमेंड कर देती है रिमूवल ऑफ
No, okay. Are you saying it's inherent in fundamental rights and due process?
Yes.
Power of remand. Can you remand the matter to the Supreme Judicial Council?
and that can be consequential on the requestment of the order. It can be
Khwaja साहब आप क्या कहते हैं इस
there
बात
are
पे?
two ways.
नहीं, let's see. Khwaja साहब is a senior counsel. Let's see what his view is. Can we remand the matter to the Supreme Judicial Council or we can't?
My Lord, may I very humbly make a submission? It cannot be done because now there is nothing for the Supreme Judicial Council to inquire into, because the petitioner's tenure has already expired. He's no longer, it goes back, he would no longer be a judge to be considered for purposes of removal, which is the function of the Supreme Judicial Council. So it does not fall within the functions of the Supreme Judicial Council at this stage. This is what my very humble submission.
So what is the solution? None.
This matter requires the determination or
No,
not.
let's suppose we, for sake of argument, don't take it amiss, that we set aside the order.
Your Lordship.
That means that that's implied in the order that all that he said, the judge, when he was a judge, was true. So you are condemned. Won't you be condemned?
It doesn't imply that, my Lord.
Why?
May I very
Did he
humbly
say everything I said was true? Therefore the order was set aside?
Yes. What he said, my Lord, so far as the allegations against specific persons are concerned, they came up for the first time before the Supreme Judicial Council.
No, he's been saying it from day one.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. The specific allegations against persons, by naming them and naming the incidents also, they never figured in the speech. They never figured in the preliminary reply that was given to the Supreme Judicial Council. It was in the second reply that the additional reply that
No, but one way or the other, why didn't the Supreme Judicial Council say something on it? He could have said, oh,
for the Chief Justice of Islamabad, his reply on his petition of him. Unite those issues. I'm just speaking. Yeah. No, but more importantly, when we can before also, and I'm trying to be as
you can't just leave him and because he's a simple judge. No.
sole ground on which the matter against the particular is sustained this Supreme Court's conclusion.